friends, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. This video, I'm really excited about it. I haven't done a tag type video in a while, and I saw one from Samantha March here on YouTube that really excited me, and I decided I would tag myself and do it because it just, I love those videos where you see somebody do it and then it really gets you thinking about your own opinions and how you feel about things. And I think the beauty of a tag like this is no two people are probably going to have the same list here. And we're talking about brands that excite and maybe those that don't. And she did it kind of top 5, bottom 5 style. For me, I think I'm gonna like sort of just open it up and list as many as I can think of that apply in either area. I thought this would be fun. Definitely check out Samantha here on YouTube. I wish I would have found her a long time ago. She is great. She's a published author, and then she's working like crazy on her YouTube channel and doing so many videos, a ton of great content. You can tell it comes from a place of just really loving makeup and being excited about it, and I just find her very easy to watch and informative and fun. And I guess I just never thought I'd run into a person who loves makeup and nachos the same way I do. So check out Samantha. I'll link to her below, of course. By the way, my hair, I tried to like kind of do one of those where, I just casually like pulled it back with a little clip back there, but it's not really like staying up. Oh, also guys, I meant to say, this is the first video I'm shooting since we put our big reveal out there. If you haven't seen that video, I don't know if I should spoil the surprise, but I just want to say thank you so much. I cannot begin to explain the way you have touched me with your responses to that and the enthusiasm and the positivity and the love. Since that day, just a couple days ago, you all have brought me to tears on multiple occasions. It's really amazing to be a YouTuber and be supported in, makeup and beauty and stuff like that. But to receive just so much love and kindness in the direction of your personal life and your family, like that touches me so deep. So thank you so much. Moving on. I wanted to tell you just a little bit of the criteria for the brands that excite me, the intriguing brands, as I might put it. It's brands that have a very high success rate with me. I feel like most of what I try from them, it'll never be everything, right? But most of what I use from them I really enjoy. But also, if it's going to intrigue or excite, it might be a brand that is a little bit hit and miss for me, but yet I'm always taking note, to see what's new, to heavily consider buying what may be new out there. And also for me, generally speaking, pretty much all drugstore brands feel intriguing to me because of their affordability, and they all offer this opportunity to be an element of surprise. Is it going to be a really amazing thing for a really low cost? And that chance always gets to me. You guys know this. This is the mentality I've had with my channel from the time it started, was I'm into knowing if those low-cost drugstore things can be amazing. So we're talking about that in here. So the first brand, and I'm just mentioning the lower cost ones first and then the more high-end or mid-range-ish ones. But the first one I'll mention that's an intriguing brand for me is Milani. I feel like Milani has been responsible for stepping up the game of drugstore makeup, and they're not the biggest brand, they're not your CoverGirl or Revlon or L'Oreal, but still I feel like they are infusing the drugstore with continued high quality. And it started maybe about 10 years ago. Remember, they were doing the single shadows that everybody was comparing to MAC, like not necessarily when a YouTube space was doing it, but more like, Makeup Talk and Makeup Alley and different forums, like those things were so hot. And I feel like they have continued to produce great quality things. I think right now they've got some great eyeshadow palettes out. They've done over time great lip products. There are some that I'm obsessed with right now. Those like plumping lip glosses. I got a couple handy. They've done some brushes. They've done some skincare oils. Anytime something new is coming from Milani, I am pretty much on top of it, interested in it. May not buy everything that's new from them, but I've got that awareness, and most things I'll be trying. Same kind of deal with e.l.f. e.l.f. is one of those brands where it can be potentially pretty hit and miss, but it's a brand that we've seen really go on a climb, over the past decade. We've seen it start with everything being $1. I did that video not too long ago focusing on their things that they have that are still $1 and $2, but now they've kind of come a little more mainstream drugstore. We're seeing them in Walmart. They're not just that little online brand anymore. And I think it's been exciting to see their growth. It's been exciting to see some really top-notch quality products come from them recently. Talking about their camo concealer, some incredible mineral-infused blushes and bronzers, some different palettes that I really like. They're making $3 brushes that I am using every single day. So I love a lot of e.l.f. And what I might challenge them to do is maybe re-examine those lowest cost things and maybe give some of that stuff a bit of a makeover and still maintain that super bargain makeup and make it just the best that could possibly be available at that price point. I think that would be cool. Another brand that I want to include here, and I wasn't sure if I should just call it like an honorable mention, because I always wonder when it's things where I have a personal involvement, should I even like be talking about it? But Makeup Revolution, you probably know I have a couple of palettes that I did with them, but even well before palette time. This is a brand that brought affordable palettes to the drugstore price range, a lot of them. I found that very intriguing. You know I'm a palette person, so a lot of what they've done has really caught my eye, and I've been on top of so much of it just with my own natural curiosity. And I haven't loved everything that I've used from the brand, but I've loved a lot of it, and I've really, like, Revolution is a great brand to dip into if you're unfamiliar. Like, just go on Ulta's website, find a palette or two. It's the greatest brand to bring you out of a makeup boredom rut, because you'll get like one of those little like chocolate bar palettes, or maybe the Once palette, or you name it, and it'll give you some different opportunities to play. You won't be out a lot of money, and it's just fun. I love what they're doing there. I love that they're moving away from doing so many like dupe palettes and more just original and beautiful palettes. I love them. The Reloaded palettes are amazing. There's more of this I Heart Revolution stuff, which is kind of like a spin-off side brand that's now at Ulta. And more recently, I think they've made themselves a very legit brand by putting out concealers, putting out foundations, and not just throwing them out there, but they're good and they're in huge shade ranges. And something I really respect about this brand is their diversity in marketing to all ages, because we don't see nearly enough of this. I really appreciate when all skin tones can be included and everybody feels like there's a place for them as they look at a brand and what they're putting out on social media, let's say. But even beyond that, Makeup Revolution, in their campaigns for, was it the foundation and or the concealer, they were using women like my mom's age in that advertising, in their social media advertising. And that is so lost right now. You do not see older women represented in this way. And I'm sorry, but that's a sector of women who is still wearing makeup and may have the money to spend on it, you know? And it's not just people my mom's age who I feel are kind of neglected, but kind of like mid-30s onward. And something I respect about Revolution is they did that really diverse campaign for those products, and it made me very proud to have any involvement with that brand, and also proud to be a woman in her mid-30s collaborating with the brand. I really respect the fact that they recognize that there are people out there of all ages, men and women, all different backgrounds and colors, and we are all valuable in this makeup using world. And they've collaborated with a lot of different people, not just in the UK where they're based, and not just me here in the US, but they've collaborated with other people globally that you might not even know about. And I love that they're just trying to do a real global, all-inclusive reach at people who might be using makeup. And I think that's very cool. Sorry I went off on a big tangent there, but it's an important thing to talk about that doesn't get talked about enough. My only advice for Revolution is I would say keep it up. Keep giving people of all ages a presence in your social media marketing, because I think that really sends a positive message. Moving into some more expensive brands now that also really like fire me up. Viseart. Here's a brand who I think has done some really smart moves in terms of appealing to all consumers, not just maybe the makeup artist community. Remember when it was a brand of all $80 palettes and it was like that's kind of all you could get? If you wanted to try them, you had to do that. Now they've kind of broken it down and put out some smaller things. Their Theory palettes, their Petite Pro palettes, you know how those little things have grabbed me, and I love them. I love their quality. Anytime I know something new from Viseart is coming out, I am on it. I am wanting to know more. I'm wanting to get my hands on it. And I just think they've made some smart moves in making their brand more accessible, albeit, you know, you're gonna still pay between like $35, $40 for one of their smaller palettes, but it gives you a chance to really see what they're about. And they've done a great job in those smaller palettes of giving you a great variety in terms of their finishes. Matte and shimmer usually is split in those. And yeah, I just get excited to use their stuff, and definitely all ears when I think something new is coming from Viseart. Here's another brand, M Cosmetics. This brand, run by Michelle Phan, they have put out stuff so slowly. And And I kind of love that. There's part of me that's like, well, it's not like I've got something new to be excited about every month or so, but everything they have put out is so thoughtfully and so well done. Their liquid lipstick, the lip clouds, the lip glosses, you know how I feel about those. Amazing. They've got some fantastic eyeliners in several different formats, and most recently they've come out with the brow stuff. The brow stuff probably to me seems like the least unique. It's just harder. I think it's harder for brands to put out something that's really like, oh, so different for brows, you know? More difficult to be super game-changing there, but I still like what they've done. And you tell me what you think in the comments section, but when a brand is releasing less frequently, does that make you be a little bit more all ears when they are finally putting something out? Because for me, I'm really taking note of whatever they're gonna do. Here's another interesting brand to me, Bare Minerals. And this would be a brand that wouldn't have always existed on this list for me. If this is a music chart, like this one is on the way up, you know what I mean? I really think Bare Minerals has done some smart things with their brand. I feel like they still fully recognize the popularity of like their original mineral foundation, you know, but they have expanded what they're doing so much with their pressed products, different like tinted moisturizers with the Complexion Rescue line. They put out that stick that just like clutched me in, you know, like I already was feeling pretty good about Bare Minerals, but then they did this and I'm like, okay, I'm a full believer now. Different liquid concealers. Now they're expanding with pressed bronzers, highlights, and liquid bronzers. They're doing so much. It's so gentle and skin friendly, I feel. Whenever I'm using Bare Minerals products, I always note this level of radiance and glow and youthfulness to the skin. And in the midst of all the great complexion stuff they've done, they've also put out some fabulous eyeshadow products too. And Shelby Wilson here on YouTube, she is kind of, to me, she is my Bare Minerals authority here as far as YouTube videos go. I'll have to link below to her as well. But she's even recently done something on making your powder foundations look like liquid. And she did that video with original Bare Minerals. So I'm just loving it. There is so much that they've put out that I'm loving. You want to talk about a high success rate, like just for satisfaction with products, Bare Minerals is really kicking butt right now for me. Also, I would have to say IT Cosmetics. I look at some key products I really, really love, and they're coming from IT Cosmetics. The big three for me would probably have to be the CC Cream. I actually like it in all their versions. The matte, the illumination, the regular, the superhero mascara. Huge for me. Love that. Hard for me to find a mascara I truly love. And then number 3 would have to be that CC SPF 50 powder in either the regular version or the illumination. And tremendous coverage there if you want it, but just a great all-around setting powder. I'm wearing that today. It's just undeniable that they've done some key things that I really like. And then kind of off the beaten path, you know, they've got some eyeshadow products I like. They've got lip products that feel just so buttery and wonderful. The Je ne sais quoi line, like the jumbo stick that's gonna kind of stain your cheeks and lips. IT Cosmetics has definitely captured my attention because there are so many things I've used from that brand that I like. And stand by for more information on that confidence in a foundation. I've used that several times and have had some very varied experiences with it on different occasions, so I need to establish like what's going on with that. Is it going to work consistently for me? But anyway, generally speaking, love IT Cosmetics. Last brand that I'm going to throw into this brands that intrigue and excite me would be the Balm. The Balm for me feels like one of the main like first higher end brands that I really got into. They capture me with their packaging, their unique concepts, the old school kind of pinup girl designs on things. I love that. I think that's so cute. And I think they've done better lately of even expanding shapes and sizes of different palettes and stuff like that that they put out. On top of palettes, they have an amazing full coverage foundation, you know, the Even Steven. Nobody really talks about it, but it's awesome. But I love a lot of what the Balm has done and is doing. They're not a brand that seems to like overdo it, over launch, overproduce, but I mean, they've got eyeshadow palettes I love, they've got blushes and highlighters, face products that I adore, and if they could do anything different going forward, I would say bring a little more color variety to the eyeshadow palettes. There were a couple that I bought recently actually, like the Here for the Tea, and then they had this smaller one, this little, auto balm thing called Pick Perf, and it's super cute, and I love the size, but it's like a lot of the same tones as the Here for the Tea Iced Tea palette. So like, I think we need to switch some things up a little bit with color schemes and that type of thing, but still keeping with that great creativity for the outer packaging and the themes and concepts. For that reason, I love the brand. I've got all my list here in my notes app, and I made a note for myself saying the fact that I have a lot of kind of middle ground brands where maybe a certain amount of releases do catch my eye, but across the board, I might not be like super on top of it or super caring about every little thing they do. I think there are a lot of brands just kind of in that place for me, and that's okay. You know, you don't have to be all over everything. I just want you to know, like, it's not necessarily one place or the other for me. It's not like I'm super enthused about it or I'm just not. There's so many makeup brands out there. There are, of course, going to be some where they're just occasionally, you know, catching your eye, but not always. Now, characteristics of not so intriguing brands for me. Sometimes it's brands that receive lots of hype because that can be a turnoff to me. Sometimes that tells me it's covered by others. You don't really need to jump into this. That's really the reaction I have to overhyped things. Also, brands that I just don't get many requests about. Not seeing a lot of comments saying, hey, would you review this or that? Not a lot of tweets, not a lot of messages about them. So, you know, if I really notice that the interest is not there at all from you, it can sometimes result in less interest from me. First brand I'll mention is Morphe. And Morphe, like in Morphe's earlier days, like I really thought of them as a brand where the palettes they put out could have just been like picked by a computer, basically. Like, give me a gradient of browns and then give me a gradient of matte warm browns. Like, nothing excited me. I'm really anymore getting into the types of palettes that seem very hand-picked and like a human being was really involved in doing it, you know? And I think that brand, as they have collaborated more, they've helped themselves with that. But like when they launched foundation and concealer, I think too, I just felt like there was so much talk and talk about it. It turned me the other direction. It made me feel like, okay, this is covered and I'm not even that interested anyway. I can't really even put my finger on why. I'm just not that interested, but I'm not. And I'd kind of almost like to get more interested. There are a few brushes here and there that I use on a consistent basis that come from Morphe, and it's not that they haven't done some great quality things and some very fair prices on certain things. I just can't make myself get super pumped about them. I really think that that's kind of just a lingering feeling from when the brand was newer and it was like all these bigger influencers talking about Morphe and everybody's got a coupon code and you're just kind of wondering, is this just about the coupon code? I'm not really sure. And so that I think has just kind of continued to leave me feeling a little blah, and I haven't had anything fully and wholeheartedly draw me in. Next up, Tarte. Tarte is a brand that's like, if Bare Minerals is moving up my list, Tarte is kind of like been more at the top and kind of going down. I feel like they're releasing a lot of things, and whereas at one point in time I would have pretty much been wanting to try everything, there's just a lot more kind of slipping by and I'm thinking, I don't really care. They've even had a couple of different foundation products out lately and I'm just like, you know, I think I'll pass. I think there will always be certain things here or there, and as holiday time comes around, like there's gonna be something from Tarte that I'm reviewing or that's catching my eye, but it's becoming less and less for me. Also, that blue palette they put out, like I don't even want to own anything that says Icy Betch on it. I'm sorry. Next brand is Makeup Forever, and I feel like this brand has just gotten a little bit lackluster and a little boring for me. I think maybe some of this might come from their very like no frills sorts of packaging maybe. There aren't always a lot of things from this line that jump up and look a little different and make you catch your eye and make you look at things differently. I think they have some great quality in there. I love their Artist Plexi glosses. I love some of their different palettes where you can kind of put in shades that you want, customize a blush palette or an eyeshadow palette. I think that's cool. It's unfortunate because I do think they have some good quality, but I think they go a little under the radar for me because they're just not super eye-catching. Kind of come under the heading of, I don't get a lot of questions about Makeup Forever, really. Speak now if you want to see more Makeup Forever in my comments section, but I'm just not noticing a lot of interest there. Here's another one. As far as drugstore goes, Ulta brand. Ulta brand, I've tried on a couple occasions to do some videos on them to see if they made some products that were kind of like dupes and stuff, and it's just a brand that I struggle to get excited about, especially like if I'm walking into an Ulta. I'm wanting to spend a lot of time with these drugstore brands, different drugstore brands that I might not see in a Walmart or a Walgreens or something. And then I'm gonna venture over to the high-end side, and then I'm gonna scoot back over to skincare and stuff. But I'm not gonna be just hanging out in the Ulta display too much. And I think a lot of things come out, really, it's a huge line, but I think there's a little bit of feeling of overwhelm, like I can't even keep up, like where do I even begin? I think they put out a lot of things and don't make a big fuss about any of it really. I really took an interest when the Melissa Michelle stuff came out because it was a special collection. It made me look at the brand, it made me want to try some things. I loved the lip kit that I got. But all in all, like there have been certain things I've tried that I've been kind of ho-hum about, so there haven't been enough things maybe that I've used that have grabbed me in a really, really positive way. Some Ulta brand sponges I think have been amazing, but just as far as the makeup goes, I'm just like, that brand's in a tough place because they've got all this competition from all the other brands, and then here they are as the house brand sitting over here. And it's just, by the time I've gotten done browsing the Ulta store, I'm just never really feeling like I want to go sort through their whole line. It's strange, but that's just how it is. And then another brand, my last brand that I'll mention here is Almay. Almay has done some decent things over the years. I recently discovered that they took their Get Up and Grow mascara and repackaged it. So you might want to look out for that because it's out there again. But I noticed just the other day as I was passing by their section in Walmart, they have so much that they've sort of revamped, repackaged, given it a different look, and new products too that I've never used that they've put out. And even with that, I felt so uninspired to pick anything up. I just didn't even really want to try anything. And for it to be a drugstore brand and for me to feel that way, it's like, dang, it must really be just not getting to me. I don't know, should I be using more Almay? Am I missing the boat here? Feel free to tell me, but I'm just kind of like, ugh. Carrie Underwood does not seem to be associated with it anymore. And on top of that, I'm just like not feeling drawn in. Like Smart Shade, okay, you change colors, like we've all been there, tried that, kind of ho-hum reaction about it. And let's move on. I'd love to know if besides that mascara I mentioned, if you've got anything great from Almay, any good tips, because I'm open to changing my mind. I want to be a person who has a very open mind with makeup brands. But just the lay of the land right now, April 2019, this is kind of how I'm feeling, and I just thought this was an interesting video to do, very thought-provoking. I would love to hear in the comments section, what are your brands that really intrigue you and excite you right now, and then what brands kind of you feel the other way about. Let me know. And thank you also to Samantha for coming up with the great video idea. Again, she'll be linked below. And yeah, thanks for your time. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.